name's Evan Tate, and welcome to the 250 Patterns Jazz podcast. And in this podcast, I'd like to first introduce to you the first part of this book, and that is the preliminary exercises. Now, this is meant for improvising students that are first starting off, getting to understand basic chord structures and what to play on them. What I've done in the first part of this book is I start off with something very basic. Is that we just have what I've first done in this book is just start off with very basic chord structures following in a cycle. That means we're starting off in C, just say 2 bars of C major. That's just 2 bars of the C major triad, followed by 2 bars of F major, followed by 2 bars of B flat major, and so on, going through the cycle of fifths. And what the student is then doing is just playing just the groove, just playing the tonic of every one of these chords, such as then it follows off in this manner, continue on. And this will go on to other structures. And this follows through various structures where then also we start playing the first, second, and third notes of each major scale. And so on and so forth. And this will continue on exactly also in this same type of pattern. We're then playing the first and the third steps of the scale. And this will continue on, and then playing on to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the first 5 notes of a major scale. Now this will just first help the student first to get in the habit of learning the timing, because all these exercises first starts off in just playing half notes and then start playing a quarter note. And this continues on, and then we start playing the first, second, third, and fifth degrees of the major scale. And so this walks the student through just be able to see a chord change and to play a melodic idea over it right away. And be able to have something to play on, on every chord. Now, this starts off, like I said, these examples, they all start in the root of every chord, but then there are other patterns that start on the third, other patterns that start on the fifth, and so on. And this sort of just walks the student through the first basic exercises, first basic ways of playing on every chord. Then it continues on in these exercises where we're dealing a lot with the first, second, third, and fifth degrees of the scale. The famous 1, 2, 3, 5 pattern for those who are more familiar with beginning jazz improvisation, in which this pattern, this motif, is found actually in many improvised solos. And what this also book does, it goes through this various variations of these 4 notes. And so, again, like I said, this is not a chord scale theory of improvisation. This is about using motives, about using little melodic ideas in order to play on scales, using melodies. Now, within the preliminary exercises, it'll also go through various, some different chord changes. Like I said, first it'll go through just the cycle of fifths, but then eventually it'll go into whole tones and chromatic movements. Some which are can be found often in jazz, other things that are not found often in jazz, but they are done for the purpose of improving one's technique. And this, of course, eventually, like I said, starts off on using quarter notes, but eventually moves into using eighth note patterns. So 1 in this pattern, and so forth. And then the next part of the preliminary exercises will start introducing the dominant 7th chord, where there is also not just playing the arpeggio up and down. This comes eventually, but first we're starting off using just the motive of 1, 2, 3, 5, and then 7, or then using 3, 2, 1, and 7. You'll be able to see this, in the book as you acquire it. And then it builds up into more patterns, and eventually that there gives the student more of a feeling of being able to actually improvise over these dominant 7th chords.